Ciao tutti, hola gente. How are you guys doing? Well, I just want to check in with you guys, see how you guys are doing. And I hope you guys are doing well. You're healthy, you're taking care of yourselves. Mental health, do not forget that part. Not just your physical health, but also mental health as well, guys. Same, I know I am. I look well, excuse me, put together right now, but I literally have on clothes and makeup or whatever and house shoes. Don't judge, they're dirty, but yeah. I think this is probably the first time I put on makeup in a while, so I'm feeling myself. Got a little ponytail, you know, my hair grew overnight. Jokey joke. Anyways, so I got a little story time for you guys about how we almost got scammed, or did we get scammed in Cuba? Well, just sit down and listen. So anyways, me, my sister, and her friend decided one day, like, you know what? We want to go to Cuba. And Cuba we will go. And what did we do? We went to Cuba. So now we only had about a week or less to plan. I was in charge of the accommodations. Now this particular story is going to be about my accommodation experience in Cuba. And yeah. So I was in charge of booking the accommodation and tours and other little things when we got there, but the accommodation part was one of the trickiest parts for me because, again, Cuba is not a place that is well traveled by US travelers. People that live here, people that are American, they don't quite travel that much to Cuba unless you did the illegal way, which I almost did a couple of years ago. Illegal way meaning, like, you know, you travel through another country and possibly use a different passport if you have dual citizenship. I almost did that through, I think, either Dominican Republic or Canada a few years back, but ended up not wanting to do all that run around just to get to Cuba, and I didn't have that many days to about what we spent there in the beginning, so I was like, eh. So this was the perfect time to pretty much go. So we packed up and gone to Cuba. Get there. Mind you, I booked the accommodation online. This was through Airbnb because I did not want to do a hotel, the whole, you know, whatever. I wanted authentic feel of Cuba, so we wanted to book an accommodation in the center, in the heart of the city, in old Havana. So that's what I did. I did not do much research on other accommodations because I found this one and I zoned in. I said, you know what, this is what I want. It checks off all the boxes, and this is what I want. So I'm gonna get this one. And it was very cheap. It was like a penthouse, 2-bedroom penthouse for $76. I'm like, you can't beat this. Booked. So we get to the airport, get our taxi as normal, we go. Now, for those of you who have lived in other countries, like, you know, the Caribbean or West Africa or Africa in general, other countries where, should I say, directions or addresses are not quite straightforward, like you would find them here in the US or any other Western country. Yeah, that's what we faced there. It was one of those things where they gave us the address, we knew where it was at pretty much, or somewhat, but getting there, it didn't quite correspond with the map that we had, and the taxi driver was also a little bit confused. He was trying to ask for directions, and of course you have the people in the street going, yeah, go 2 houses down. When you see that blue building, then you turn left, and when you see the guy with the red shirt, you go down the hill, and then up the hill, and then around the corner, and then you see the coconut taxi, and then you turn to your left, and the building is right there. Taxi guy's like, oh yeah, I know exactly where that is. Yeah. We get there, and I'm just like, how the hell did he understand the direction? But okay, whatever. We get there, and he's like, okay, it should be around here. I'm like, around here where? We look around. Mind you, we are surrounded by abandoned looking buildings, whatever, but these buildings look straight up abandoned, and like half of them are like half demolished, half of them are crumbling down, and it just looks like, I don't know what to even say. But like at this point, my heart is just sinking. My sister, her friend are looking at me like, what did you get us into? What did you book? Like, where are we? And I'm just like, oh, this is not how the picture would look. But then in my head, I'm like, the Airbnb pictures did not include the outside. It only included the inside and like the balcony area, but not how the actual building looks on the outside. Typically, they don't really do that. So I didn't know how the outside was gonna look like. Anyways, I'm like feeling skeptical, I'm scared. So we call our host. The host, she comes down. She's like, hi guys, how are you doing? She's sweet, you know, this lady in her like early or mid 50s or whatever. And she is like, welcome, come in. And in my head, I'm like, welcome to what? To a crack house? Crack building? What? Huh? And she's like, well, come with me, come with me. And so we're walking with her, and I'm just like, what did we just rent? Did we just rent a whole abandoned building? A whole crack building? Like, what? We walk into the lobby area, or to the foyer, whatever you want to call it. It smells like straight up pee. Anyways, we walk through down the hall, and at the end is like this shiny silver door. And I'm just like, what could this be? She presses a button. It's an elevator? What? You would never guess this brand new, shiny, sparkly elevator is in an abandoned building like this. So I'm like, okay, well, here goes nothing. Let's go in the elevator with our little bags and everything. Go in the elevator. We're all looking at each other like, oh my God, we're about to get killed or something. I don't know. We are scared out of our mind. Yes. And the lady's just like chit-chatting away. We get out the elevator, and she's just like, "What kind of?" I look up. I'm like, "Okay, it doesn't look as bad as the lobby, but it still doesn't look like something like the pictures. It doesn't look like the apartment that I saw in the pictures would be in a building like this." She opens the front door to the apartment, and our jaws drop to the ground. My heart stops beating for a second, then it returns to normal pace. And guess what? It was not a scam. Ah, what a relief. At this point, we had like this big gasp of air, like, all relieved. And you could tell in her face, she was like laughing, like in her head or whatever, like thinking, yeah, I got y'all type of thing. I'm like, gave us a little warning, like, oh, excuse the mess out here, but probably too is nice in there, or something like that. Make some kind of commentary to what we're looking at so we are feeling a little bit more at ease. Now, she knew what she was doing. So we get in, and it's beautiful. The apartment is like breathtaking. It looks like the pictures and more. The balcony was just like this huge patio, rooftop type of call it. It was just beautiful, overlooking the beach. The room, I had the master bedroom. The shower had a whole glass, like a big window, like floor to ceiling window that overlooked the beach. So when you're taking a shower, you're looking at the beach. That's the first thing you see when you're taking a shower. The other bedroom was really nice. It had 2 beds, but like a huge bathroom and a view of the city. So it was like every room and every like place in the apartment had a great view of like Havana, and it was just. I was just so relieved at this point that we did not get scammed, and it really was the apartment in the pictures, because you have no idea what I was like. Oh my God, what did I get myself into? We are completely.
Ay, candela, 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 me quemo ahí. Ay, candela.
But anyways, that's my story of how I thought we almost got scammed, or I thought we were getting scammed in Cuba. But a few tips that I would recommend to you if you are booking a trip to Cuba or to any place in general, but particularly to Cuba, make sure you do your research on the accommodations, look at more than one. If it seems too good to be true, in some cases, it may not be true. Because again, I've had some friends and I had some people tell me that it was the other way around. Like they saw nice pictures, but got there and it was a disaster. It was not what it was, or it didn't exist, or whatever the case is. So look at the reviews, see how recent they are, read every review, and make sure you confirm the amenities that are important to you. The reason being is that some of the descriptions and amenities that I say they put on the descriptions, some of them they just mention it just because, I feel like, at least. And some of them are very loosely put in there. Like, for example, our apartment said that it had great Wi-Fi connection, great internet service or whatever. It was not the case. There was, which in a lot of casa particulares, do not have Wi-Fi. There are obviously a lot that do as well, but there are also a fair bunch that do not have. And so this one was like claiming that they had really good internet, but in reality it wasn't that good. It was just basic and enough to check my email, send a WhatsApp message to family telling them like, hey, I'm alive, I'm well, type of thing, but that was it. And another thing is to always have cash with you. Have cash, because I've noticed that sometimes, it didn't happen to us, but again, my friends and colleagues, where I've noticed that they publish a particular apartment on several platforms. Like, let's say they publish their apartment on Airbnb, TripAdvisor, and let's say Booking.com. And I guess maybe because of the internet service that they have, it lags or what, I don't know what is. I've noticed that there have been some cases where they overbook sometimes. So always have cash, because you could always walk up to another casa particular and get another accommodation and pay cash right then and there. And you could always settle the refund later on with Airbnb or Booking.com or whomever you make the booking with. So yeah, that's my experience booking accommodation in Cuba. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any interesting stories of accommodation when traveling, please share below in the comments section. And any tips as well that you may find that was really helpful, or tips that are really helpful when booking accommodation anywhere in the world, or in particularly Cuba, or anywhere at all. Any suggestions, feel free to put that in the comment section below. And make sure to like this video, share, and make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys.